Oh baby, we're in our crash out arc. If I were you, I would sit down and grab a snack because this is going to be a long one. I really went back and forth on if I wanted to even make this video, but I realized that I kind of already said I was gonna make it, so I guess I'm making it. I'm a dragon of my word after all. If I say I'm gonna do something, I really try to do it. We are going to be keeping it a little bit low-key today because this is the kind of video that doesn't really need a lot of fancy editing. It's just gonna be me talking, and so I'm probably just gonna be sitting here doing that. I do have a script here, by the way, but I'm gonna try to not just like sit here and like blah, 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 boring script, even though I think the script is pretty good. I'm a little biased though, I wrote it. A couple weeks ago, I made an announcement about my YouTube channel. And in this announcement, I talked about how I was going to be revising how I do content here. This video is about that announcement, I guess. It's kind of recapping and going further into detail about why I decided to change some stuff. This revision of the YouTube channel will be a refocusing of my content on here, where I focus less on video output and more on video quality. Rather than attempting to output a video every week on a variety of gaming-related subjects, I'm niching down the channel's long-form videos and focusing on producing higher quality, polished content that is primarily information-based. Sounds kind of fancy, right? So you're probably wondering what information-based even means. Basically, I want to focus on videos that are kind of more like mini documentaries or video essays. Videos that I'll have to do quite a bit of research for each video. These mini documentaries are going to be Nintendo and Nintendo adjacent in focus, and I want to cover IPs such as Star Fox, Donkey Kong, Legend of Zelda, Yooka-Laylee, Banjo-Kazooie, and honestly, quite a bit more than that, but those are the ones that come to mind. More specifically, I want to do mini documentaries about things like debunking popular myths, games with weird or just really interesting development stories, canceled games, and then cool and weird Nintendo game lore. For all of these videos, I want to focus on making them more research-based with the intention to educate, discuss, and/or document. Basically, I want to nerd out on Maine and make videos about it. 99.9% of the videos here will continue to be Nintendo or Nintendo adjacent topics. However, I do plan to dive into some general gaming topics as well. I have not forgotten about the questionnaire. Also, I might end up doing some retrospectives. For the foreseeable future, the video shorts that I make will not be changed, but they could change in the future. I'm not really sure at this point. The long form videos are what I'm really going to be focusing on in terms of niching them down. I am a visual person, and I bet some people here are too, so I made this handy dandy chart for you to look at so you can see what I mean. Right now, the channel is tier list, gaming news, Star Fox theories, reaction videos, discussion videos, impression videos, and just a lot of different subjects. All Nintendo and Nintendo adjacent. But I want to narrow it down to mini documentaries, retrospectives, and maybe occasionally we'll do a theory video. All of it will be Nintendo or Nintendo adjacent focused, but a lot of it is going to be geared more towards titles we would consider to be retro. I hope that makes sense. I honestly feel like this change will not be too different from before, but also feel more cohesive. While I'm definitely niching my overall videos down in terms of subject, I think that in very certain and specific situations, I could see myself doing like discussion videos from before on more current gaming news. So say when like Yooka-Laylee comes out, I'll probably still do a video on my thoughts on it, but that's gonna be more of an exception due to it being so related to the other content that I've been working on. So yeah, basically there's gonna be exceptions if I feel pulled towards making certain videos, but for the most part, this is what we're looking at now. Coupled with the videos being niched down, I've already begun the process of updating the channel's branding, which I'm sure some of you have noticed, and actually some of you have, and you've commented on it saying that you like it, which is good. That makes me happy. I still do plan to utilize my VTuber model for videos. That part is not changing. I'm also hiring an editor and other support staff to help me with the channel as well, which is something I can feasibly do now that my video output has been slowed. Now that we're a few minutes into the video, and I've rambled a ton about what we're changing to, you're probably wondering why. why am I changing how the videos are coming out? Why am I changing what the videos are kind of focused on? I mean, I kind of am, but like, not really. It's very adjacent. It's very adjacent to what I was already doing. I would even say I've already made a few videos like that. But you're probably wondering why I'm doing this. And the truth is that there's a lot of reasons. I hope you have that snack because we're about to go into some stuff. Stuff TM. So while there's a lot of reasons I'm doing this, the main takeaways to understand are sustainability, focus, and quality. Sustainability is probably the most significant reason, so we're gonna start with that one. To put it super mildly, when it comes to the rate I've been making content, I've come to realize that it's just not sustainable for me to do. I'm one person. I do not have a team of people helping with edits, thumbnails, and all of that. It's just me, and I'm pretty new to a lot of content creation, honestly. I started YouTube maybe a year and a half ago now, and on top of YouTube, I also stream, and in general, when you're a content creator, you have just a lot of back-end work to do. Things like stream prep, event planning, sourcing various things you might need for content, advertising, marketing. The list is frankly never ending. And not only am I part of a merchandise business now, but I'm also a lead team member of a stream team, and I do have tasks that I have to do for that as well. And on top of that, I'm writing a book. I put a lot on my plate because while I'm one of God's laziest soldiers when it comes to real life stuff, I'm kind of an overachiever when it comes to content creation. I don't think the world would survive 5 Amalias. But maybe if I had a team of 5 Amalias, I could do all the things I want to do right now. But the reality is that I don't have 5 Amalias, and I've been overworking myself to a point where my health has definitely started to suffer. I realized one day that in the course of like 5 months, I had maybe taken like 1 or 2 days off total, like completely off from any sort of work. And that's kind of not good for you physically or mentally. And like, I don't really want people to think like I'm on my deathbed or anything because that's so far from the truth, but I have chronic illnesses to deal with. And unfortunately, to help combat those chronic illnesses, it's been strongly recommended that I do a bit of grass touching and, more importantly, exercise. And I can't really do that if I'm working all the time in my office, fusing to my gamer chair. It's not a sustainable workflow, and that was a very bitter pill that I had to swallow, especially because I have this really bad habit of comparing myself to other people pushing out content constantly. Often people who have big teams, or they're not fitting a bunch of different types of content into their schedule, like regular 6-hour streams, you know? Like I'm doing. And if they are doing that, then they're crazy. I don't know how they do that. Speaking of streams, you might ask, well, why don't you just lower your amount of streams to have more time to work on the YouTube videos? And the answer to that is complex and deserving of its own essay, but the best way to put it is, it would be a financial loss for me to do that, and I don't think I could swallow that. Also, I just really like the amount of streaming I'm doing right now. I don't really want to lower it anyways, and I really like hanging out with my community during stream. The next thing I want to talk about is focus. Focus was something that I didn't consider like half as much as I should have when I began YouTube. When you start as a content creator, people always talk about finding your niche. I really took that to heart as a streamer, but as a YouTuber, I kind of thought I had until I realized I hadn't. Yeah, sure, my content is mostly Nintendo on here, but it's not really niche down as good as it could be. A reaction video here, a tier list there, a lore video over there. It was just like concentrated, but all over the place, and there's a reason for that. I kind of lost the plot of why I started the channel in the first place. I got so caught up with the idea of pushing content out that I failed to think about my audience, and I failed to think about myself. And I kind of felt stupid when I had this realization, because I was just making content, not really content I wanted to make some days, and not content that even seemed to vibe with my audience sometimes. And so I had to ask myself, why am I doing this? And I had no satisfying answer other than I read online that posting consistently was good. And so I took that to mean post every week. But then I started looking at other YouTubers, especially people that were also seemingly a single person running a channel, not a team. And I kind of realized that none of them were doing that. So I kind of also realized that maybe exhausting myself pumping content out that I didn't necessarily want to make, and content that my audience didn't really want to watch, was just kind of a bad idea overall, and we needed to like return to the drawing board and ask why I started this channel in the first place. This was a realization I had, I think, right before the Yuka Replayly demo video. That's about when I started realizing that I'd kind of like lost the plot of everything. But yeah, no, I realized that I needed to lock the heck in. When I started this channel, I didn't intend to cover gaming news or newer gaming topics. I wanted to cover my weird niche obsessions, which are mostly N64 and GameCube era games. I wanted to do Star Fox videos, myth debunking, documentaries on specific retro-related subjects. I wanted to do these video essays, not reaction videos, not tier lists, none of that. I had a whole backlog of videos that I wanted to do, but I kept pushing them all off to the side so I could talk about things like the Switch 2 or Oblivion Remaster's difficulty settings. I was not making the content that I really wanted to make, and I really had not been for some time. This is gonna sound kind of wild because actually at this point in the channel, we're at the like best performing we've ever been. Like, just in general, like the analytics are all like, you know, doing really good. But there was a part of time a couple of months ago where the channel was actually performing the worst it had been. While views aren't everything, they do indicate if you're missing the mark on what you're making versus what you've built your audience towards. I was watching videos I thought would do well, not do well, and scratching my head going, huh, that's weird. Why did this one over here do good, but this one over here seemed to flop entirely? And the answer I realized after a lot of thinking was just like focus. The channel had too much happening all over the place, and I needed to trim the fat and figure out what I wanted to do as a YouTuber. During this time, I also realized that I just wasn't really happy with the videos I was making. I didn't like my scripts. I felt like my actual personality wasn't really shining through them. I didn't like my voice deliveries. I felt like they sounded really just like stiff and impersonal. I didn't like my own editing either. And I didn't really like making the thumbnails, and I thought all my thumbnails were kind of, I don't know, dog water. And while I liked doing opinion pieces, because it was like a nice way to get my frustrations out, I ultimately realized that I didn't really like putting out that content either. Sure, opinion pieces can get views, especially if you go against the grain. Everyone loves their discourse. But I seldom find these videos super satisfying in the long run, as I feel like they kind of just sometimes put negative energy out into the universe. Obviously, not every opinion piece is like that, but I felt like mine, I was getting worried that that was happening, that like I was just putting out bad vibes into the world or something, just putting out negativity in a time when we really don't need that right now. And I kind of realized that I don't want my content to be known as being negative. The Donkey Kong redesign video is a good example of this. I thought the video was really well made when I made it, and I thought my argument was at least decent. But I don't like the energy that came from me releasing that video. At the time, I joked that I'd roast my marshmallows over the fire, and I definitely did. But I also had this realization that I kind of didn't like having to roast the marshmallows over the fire. And while I'm super grateful and very happy that people did like the video, I also saw a lot of negativity building in the comments. Not just negativity at me, but negativity at each other and negativity at all sorts of things. And I just realized that I don't really like that. I don't really like that what I made caused that. Obviously, you're never going to make everyone happy. That's a fact of life. But I think there's a choice we can make sometimes to not contribute to negativity, even if it'll be there no matter what you do. And maybe it's not that serious, but it did make me realize that I just kind of wanted to make content that makes people feel good, and maybe they walk away from it knowing something new, or they're inspired to do something creative. And this opinion piece didn't really do that. It didn't really achieve my goal. A couple of days after the video went out, I asked myself, did this video benefit anyone in the sense that people did walk away from it feeling good? Or did it just contribute to the continuous negative cesspool on the internet? Because if that's the case, then that's not really what I became a content creator for. And while I really do appreciate everyone who followed me from that video and liked it and commented on it, I just don't really want to contribute to what already feels like an overwhelming amount of negativity on the internet. I'm not saying I'm never going to do an opinion piece video again, but I am saying that when it comes to my content, I want to focus on things that make me happy and things that are just good vibes. I feel like that video did put forth a lot of negative vibes, and I almost did delete it. I was talked out of it by a friend of mine who brought up some good points about how my perspective could still inspire others because it brings forth ideas to the overall discussion that hadn't really been talked about yet. So yes, I'm gonna leave it up, even though I don't like to look at it, and frankly, I don't like the video. With that being said, the entire experience was definitely a learning moment for me, and it made me realize what I wanted to focus on and what I wanted to be as a content creator. To recap this section, the focus of my videos was just not really what I wanted, and going through that was an interesting journey, but it made me realize a lot about myself as a content creator, and honestly as a person. The final part for why the channel is changing is quality. I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to my own work, and I feel like my YouTube channel has not really been indicative of the level of quality I've been wanting in my own content. So I also want to focus on just polishing everything up and making it feel like it's a higher quality. I want to make videos I'm proud of, and I want to make videos about topics that I enjoy. And I know to do that, I need to stop worrying about pushing out videos every Wednesday or whatever and work on polishing things. And if I can't do something myself that I find satisfactory, I'm gonna hire people who can help. And like I said, with a reduced rate of video output, I can afford that. I can make videos that feel way more polished and have a way higher quality, and that's just what I want to do. With hiring support for the videos, I can focus on things like delivering lines better and polishing scripts. I can have time to go exercise so I don't feel sick half the time. I can breathe a bit, and I don't have to feel like I need to learn all these new skill sets. Sure, I've picked up some stuff over the last year and a half, but it's not at the level that I really want for the channel, and I don't know if I have time to dedicate to learning all of that right now. So I'm hiring people who are like proficient at that, since I'm like kind of a noob. Hiring an artist for the thumbnails also goes hand in hand with wanting to boost the quality of the videos. I'm definitely not a graphic designer, so making thumbnails is kind of pretty tricky for me, but I thought that by adding art to the thumbnail, it would just be overall a good idea. I got some feedback saying that people were surprised to see a VTuber doing video essays instead of just streams, and I thought maybe having my model on the thumbnail was potentially confusing people. Maybe they thought my videos were VODs or clip highlights or something else when they saw the model. I don't really know, but I thought that maybe doing this would minimize confusion and help me create thumbnails easier, so I hired an artist and she did phenomenal. I will be sure to link credits to her in the description and put a little thingy maybe over here on stream. I'm too streamer pilled. I will put a little thingy here on the video. So yeah, those are really the three major reasons that the channel is seeing some changes. I don't really want anyone who has been a fan of the channel to be discouraged though and think that everything is just going to be totally different now. While some things will definitely be different, it'll be a good kind of different. I also think that if you liked what videos came out already, you'll probably like what I'm cooking up as well. I'm really excited for this channel refresh, and I really hope you are too. One thing I want to say as I wrap up is, while I don't plan to do reaction videos anymore as long-form videos, I know that some people did really like those. If you'd be interested in me having a reaction channel, let me know in the comments, because I am still down for that, just not on this channel because the algorithm may beat me up if I do that. I didn't make this channel because I thought it'd be easy. I made it because I had things I wanted to make videos on. And while I lost the plot for a bit, I'm really looking forward to refocusing things and tightening up the content. And just being happier with my content. Seriously, content creators burn out so much faster when they're not making things that they feel good about and enjoy. So let's make some things that we feel good about and enjoy. Thank you so very much for watching this video. I can't guarantee that I know when the first video of this newly branded Amali Solar's channel will be out, but I do have 2 scripts already in the works, and they are mostly completed. There's some more stuff I want to get for the channel as well, so you may see some stuff getting spruced up a little bit in the coming weeks. budget allowing. From this point on, all future videos will be handed off to an editor, except for the short form videos. I'm still doing those. And I am gonna focus on being happy, making content that makes me happy, getting my health back in check, because I've been to so many doctors in the last month. It's actually kind of like a lot. My wallet is also suffering for that. Gotta get health back in check. Wanna make content that just feels good. That's really the TLDR of this video. Thank you again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.